you probably only need 3 extra pieces of gear to get started recording right now. In this video, we'll go over the most important pieces of gear that you need to start home recording, and the budget should be at about $250 or less for everything. What's up, internet viewer? My name is Beth and I run Steadfast Ascent. I've been home recording since about 2010. So I'm gonna break down everything that you need and then make some assumptions about you to recommend what you probably need to get recording right now. To make a home recording, you need to have a computer and a piece of software that will allow you to capture sound. This is called a digital audio workstation, or a DAW for short. Now you can even use a phone or any sort of computer. It doesn't have to be a computer, it can just be a pocket computer. Then you need something to record, so whether that's a guitar or whether that's your voice, and you need something to record it with. Usually that's a microphone, but there are a lot of ways, especially with electric guitars, that you can do that directly. So I'm just gonna make an assumption that you as a musician probably don't need to buy a new instrument to record. You probably already have something. It's safe for me to say that if you're watching this, you have a computer that you can use to record on. So you don't need to worry about getting anything new. What you have will work just fine. You just need to find a free digital audio workstation, a free DAW. Now, if you have Apple products, GarageBand is usually pre-installed on all of them. And if you're a part of the master race and have an Android or a PC, Reaper is probably the best choice for you when it comes to free digital audio workstations. However, you can also use something like Audacity, and if you have access to Audition through the Adobe suite, you're in really good shape. I'm not a part of the master race. All of my devices are pretty much Apple. However, I realize that there is a lot of power in PCs, so let me know if you're Apple or Android, if you're Mac or PC down below. So with all of those things covered, you probably only need 3 pieces of equipment. Something to mix with, something to record with, and some way to interface between what you're recording with and your computer. Now, you may already have some of these things, and the key that I have found for my recording journey is to do what you can with what you have. So if all you have is your phone, maybe you don't need a mic. Maybe you just need to take that voice memos and record tracks, or maybe you just need to open GarageBand. And I mean, listen, this is the mic that I started on. It sucked. I had to sing super quiet so that I didn't overwhelm this with plosives. Plosives are just sounds that language makes that are really aggressive, and when a mic hears it, it hears the sound waves and it goes, ah! And it sounds really bad. So the cheapest item on this list of things that you probably need is a set of studio headphones. Now, you may have a set of headphones. Apple headphones will totally work, but studio headphones are great, and I recommend them for beginners because they're cheaper than studio monitors. Monitors tend to run in the $300 to $500 range. Headphones tend to run in the $50 to $150 range for quality headphones. If you're gonna spend $300, you might as well get a set of monitors. The particular headset that I recommend is $50. It's the Audio-Technica ATH-M20. They're over-the-ear headphones, which is great because it means the sound stays compressed into the thing and doesn't blast out. And the thing about studio headphones that's so great, normal headphones have biases on the frequency chart. Maybe their bass is a little boosted. Maybe their high frequencies are a little cut. Maybe they have something funky going on in the mid. Studio headphones are designed to be as middle of the line as possible to get you the cleanest sound so that when you're mixing, you get the best sound. Now, this is the first thing I would recommend because, again, if you have a computer, you already have a mic. And while you could use computer speakers, a set of headphones is just better for the aforementioned reasons. Now, once you've got a headphone, you probably want a microphone. While you can totally use the stuff that already comes on the things, you can just speak into your phone, you can just shout into your computer, a microphone is gonna be better because you can set up the conditions to record yourself in a lot more easily if you have the freedom of movement. Now, you can start with a USB microphone, which are a really great option and oftentimes a little cheaper than an XLR microphone. But if you are going with a USB mic, I would recommend Blue as a really great company to get mics from. Their Snowball is super great. Their Yeti is pretty much standard across all sorts of genres. Podcasters use them, video game streamers use them, musicians use them. So it's a really solid mic. The thing that's nice about a Yeti is that it has omnidirectional recording. So if you want to record a group, omnidirectional allows you to stand around the mic and play all at the same time and only have to record one take. With most other mics, they're just one direction, so you point it in the direction of the sound, and that's how you get a recording. The microphone I would recommend, if you have $100 to spend on mics, which puts our total up to $150 right now, is the Shure SM58. This thing is the industry standard, and it has an XLR connection. So the thing about an XLR connection that's better than a USB connection is that this allows you to use this mic live. Now, you may or may not be interested in doing any live performances. You may just be interested in recording. Regardless, an XLR is the industry standard in terms of these things, and if you ever want to go live, having XLR is better. Now, the thing that's so great about this mic is that it's very versatile. This is why it's the industry industry standard, and it comes in at about $100. So it has a pop filter on it, which, as you can see, there's this like windscreen that comes off of it, and this windscreen will catch those plosives that I talked about that my Apple EarPods did not catch. So when you speak into it, it captures the explosiveness of those letters. When you have the windscreen off, this mic is awesome also because you can use it to record normal instruments. So whether you just point it at a violin or at your acoustic guitar or even at the amp of your electric guitar, it functions much in the same way as its sister mic, and it's just one mic instead of buying both an SM58 and an SM88. You can do everything with just this one thing. So it's super great for vocals because it's got this pop mic, but you can take that off and do recordings of normal instruments. It's just the industry standard. And so it's got great quality in terms of the frequencies that it catches. I 100% recommend this mic as your first mic if you can. USB mics are great. Like I said, I started with a USB mic, and actually the USB mic that I started with has an XLR version which captures a better frequency of sound. And there's a really great bundle of that which comes with that mic, a cable, and an interface. This is the thing about XLR mics, is it requires an interface to go from the mic into the interface to the computer. Computers don't have XLR ports, they just have USBs. So when you put it through an interface, it allows you to talk between the signal you're getting from this mic and the signal you want to send to your computer. And like I said, this bundle that I found has all of those things, and it's a pretty solid starter mic. I've also got links for all of the other stuff if you want to check those out. Once you've got a set of headphones and you've got a mic, you need an interface. If you're getting an XLR, you need the mic and the interface at the same time, and that should run you about $75 and $200. You can find one that's perfectly decent for about $100. I have a Line 6 UX1. Looks like this. I got it when I was first going into college, and I wanted to keep recording, but I didn't want to lug my amp everywhere. This box sat on my desk, and it allowed me to make music really easily. I just plugged in my guitar, and the reason I got this one as opposed to any of the other more popular ones, I'm looking at you, Focusrite Scarlett Solo. Oh, it's so cool. Also, the Behringer UM2 is pretty good, I hear, but I got this one because it comes with modeling software. Now, this was great for me because that meant, again, that I didn't have to take my amp or my pedal board or anything. I just took this box, I plugged it into the computer, and I had all of the sounds that I needed to record my guitar. The other thing you'll notice is that it has an XLR port. So while I didn't have an XLR mic at the time, this allowed me to grow into it without having to buy a completely new interface. And the reviews on Amazon are a little sketchy of this, but honestly, I've never had any issues with it. Yes, it's plastic, it feels cheap. Yes, there is better modeling software out there. For what you get, it's perfect for recording guitars, and it has everything you need to record mics. So I completely recommend it. Now, if you want to save some money, I would definitely recommend buying used. But if you're like, wow, I actually don't need that stuff because like my pedal board has a direct out, so I don't need a direct line, and I have a USB mic, or my brother has a USB mic that I can borrow. You spend your money first on a DAW. Listen, GarageBand is great. Reaper's free version is great, but there's just so much more functionality that you get when you pay for a DAW. Now, you may be the kind of person who's not interested in recording actual instruments. Maybe you want to make electronic dance music. I have great news for you. You just need to buy Ableton Live and maybe a MIDI controller. Again, do what you can with what you have. So if you have GarageBand and you don't want to spend money, use GarageBand. But if you have the budget to spend to get your home recording off the ground, these are what I recommend. Now, the final thing, if you've managed to save a little bit, get virtual instruments. Now, the stuff that comes with like Logic is pretty good. You can totally use it. But like the stuff that comes with GarageBand, not so good. A lot harder to use. And to recap, you probably have everything you need to start recording right now. If you have a smartphone, especially an Apple phone, literally on GarageBand on your phone, you can make this work. And any computer that you have access to has access to free DAWs that you can use to start getting recording. If you're interested in taking it to the next step, I would recommend getting something to mix better with because the mixing will be a lot harder without it. So then you want a microphone. If you're gonna get an XLR microphone, which is what I recommend because then you can use it live in all sorts of different situations, you need an interface between the microphone and the computer. Going USB is awesome and I recommend Blue microphones for that, but ultimately you can't go wrong if you get the Shure SM58. And once you've got all of those other things out of the way, upgrading your DAW, getting some plugins, and then virtual instruments is the next best thing that you can possibly invest in. If you have $250, you can start home recording right now. Do what you can with what you have, because the reality is that even if all you have is your phone, you can start making music. Build your studio one piece at a time. Go from step to step to step and upgrade each step progressively. I've put links to all of the things I've described in the description, and they are affiliate links, so if you click on them, I get a percentage if you decide to buy anything. So thanks if you decide to do that. If this provided any value to you, I would really appreciate it if you would like this video, and if you want more content like this, feel free to subscribe. Next week I'm planning on dropping a video that'll help you grow and improve your recording skills really fast. I also have a bunch of other music on this channel that you can listen to see if I actually know anything about what I'm talking about. I encourage you to leave a comment. What gear would you recommend for a beginner? If you could tell your past self what piece of equipment you wished you had, go ahead and let us other beginners know. I really think the piece that was most useful to me was that Line 6 UX1. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you found something useful. Let me know if you have any questions. And other than that, I guess I'll see you next week.